All right, guys, we are back talking about releases today. David, let's start here. The ENS Airdrop. This is the big one. Maybe Airdrop of the year. I don't know if that's too much, but it feels that way.
Oh, certainly. So far, yeah.
Yeah, because of it's like how many people actually receive this for one, but also the market cap of this thing has been absolutely extraordinary. We had the ENS guys on earlier this week, so take a listen to that podcast and take a look at that show if you want all of the details. But what happened here, David? This is, by the way, our alpha alert. So anytime a really cool thing happens like this, an airdrop or something else, we send it out to Bankless Premium members so they get notified. But what was this airdrop? What happened this week?
Yeah, so this has been a long time coming, and no one really knew that the ENS team was going to do an airdrop. But if you had been paying attention to ENS, you would understand that the mission and culture and values of ENS was to eventually have this thing managed by the community. And so I remember talking to Brantley Milligan forever ago when they were talking, when ENS was really getting bootstrapped and talking about like, oh, so ENS sells domains in ETH, but ENS does not want to be a company. ENS wants to be a public utility. And the reason why they have to sell domains is because of an anti-Sybil mechanism. If you don't actually have to pay money for these things, somebody will just claim all of them. So they were selling ENS names, generating a treasury, and now this protocol, the namespace of Ethereum, is now this public good, and that specifically should not be managed by two people or a team of people, but instead should be managed by the broader community of people that are stakeholders. And so this is just the perfect marriage between what we've all been talking about with DAOs and tokens and a public utility on Ethereum. So if you have an ENS name, that happened before the snapshot, and the snapshot wasn't too long ago, just a couple weeks ago, you can go claim your ENS tokens. There's 100 million tokens. They're currently trading for about $60. The average airdrop recipient got between like maybe 100 to 300 tokens or so, which is a pretty healthy amount. And there's a few formulas with how your token amount was calculated. The longer that you've had your ENS name, the more tokens you get. The longer you've renewed it for, the more tokens you get. If you've actually registered your ENS name to an actual Ethereum address, you get even double that. All that information is in the State of the Nation that we did with the ENS team. But this is really foundational, Ryan, and I actually think that this is even more foundational than Uniswap. Because ENS is something deeper and closer and more related to Ethereum, the protocol itself, than Uniswap is. They're both in the app layer, but ENS is really about the namespace of Ethereum. So I think that a lot of people wanted to compare ENS to something like GoDaddy, where you can register websites. It's even bigger than that. ENS is actually comparison to DNS, where like the .coms of the world, and that is another DNS is another global public good that has to be managed by this private company. Instead, ENS is now being managed by the people that are using it, and so the ENS DAO is now being handed over to everyone that has a .eth address. So we are all now managers of this open public good system.
Yeah, so like something like GoDaddy is just an app on top of DNS, right? It's not DNS itself. And so reminding folks what this .eth address is, it's basically just a human readable name for your Ethereum address. And recall an Ethereum address, okay, one model of that is as a bank account. That's what we talk about so often. It's just like your self-sovereign bank account. But more than a wallet, more than a bank account, more than a vault, it's also your self-sovereign identity. And it's becoming more like a passport every single day. So we talked with Brantley and Nick about the ability to sign on with Ethereum. I think these addresses are going to become increasingly important to individual identity in this whole Web3 world, right? So you're storing your NFTs, you're storing your tokens inside of your ETH address. If I want to send some ETH to you, David, or some tokens to you or an NFT to you, it's very easy. I know you have davidhoffman.eth. I could just do that very easily rather than this like public key with all of these like characters. So very cool stuff. You know, one thing that blew my mind though is the price on this thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So like, I know, Nick and Brantley weren't the ones to talk price, but let's you and I talk price here for a second, because this really surprised me. All right. So like, here's the market cap of this thing. And this is not fully diluted market cap. This is just like, I guess, market cap that is unlocked up in supply. But here we are on Coin Market Cap, and we hit $1.3 billion some highs of probably over $7 billion in fully diluted market cap for this thing.
I think the peak was $8 billion. Yeah. It peaked out at $80. Yeah.
Why? Do you understand? Like what, like, so why is this thing valuable to people, right? So like if you sign the Constitution to get your drop, which I did, it's basically like it's kind of a nonprofit, right? You have governance rights in this thing. You've been given a responsibility. Why do you think people are valuing it at $6, $7, $8 billion?
I definitely want to answer that question, but I want to answer that question at the very end because it'll be easier to explain that. And so some of the dynamics, just to fill listeners in about what happened here, is like the ENS token got airdropped. Then there was a bunch of shenanigans with the Uniswap contract because everyone who didn't have ENS wanted to buy it, but there was zero liquidity at the very start. And so if you were watching the Uniswap, like it would go like for a moment, one ENS token was worth $577,000. And so like for a brief moment in time, everyone was like a billionaire just by this weird proximate of there being like no liquidity in Uniswap. Eventually liquidity came in, the market settled, and that's where we started to see some actual price discovery. Started around $20 to $30, which is again a $2 to $3 billion valuation. And then it zoomed up to $80 per token. And now it's currently clocking in at just below $60 a token. But some really astonishing, like imagine just like releasing your thing and like it immediately, like it had no valuation. ENS had no public valuation. It was managed by Brantley, by Nick, these guys that were just eight people, just stewards of this thing, not taking profit and like not doing this for revenue, just managing this open protocol. And then boom, the token launches and it comes out at clocking in at a max of $8 billion. That's absolutely insane. And so like to unpack what this thing actually is, what ENS actually is. ENS is a public goods. It is a public good for Ethereum. The namespace of Ethereum, if you could go back one tweet, Ryan, to my tweet, the namespace of Ethereum is a public good. What do we call all of us? Because you can't, Ryan, there's Ryan here, and then there's also Ryan Selkis. We can't have two Ryans. One of them's got to be Ryan S. Adams, and one of them's got to be Ryan S. Selkis, right? Like we need two.
You hear that, Ryan Selkis? There can't be two of us.
Can't be two of us. You
Sorry,
guys
buddy.
need two different names.
One of us is going down.
You can't have conflicting names because we need to actually point to things. Only one entity per name. So that is called what is called a namespace, where we label all of the entities that exist in Ethereum. And with the Ethereum name system, we actually get to put in human readable names around these very complicated public addresses. And so the ENS is a public namespace around Ethereum, the system for collectively deciding how we name things. And this actually lends itself to how blockchains work. ENS is a consensus system. It's a consensus for all identifying how we name all the things. Just like how a blockchain comes to consensus, ENS is a public goods that comes to consensus about how we name all the things. So just like Ethereum itself, ENS is a public good that needs to be protected from free riders. And this is the magic of Ethereum. This is why this gets me so excited. Ethereum as a protocol, like you said, a network of networks, Ethereum as a protocol is finally able to price in public goods in ways that we've never seen before. So like clean water, clean air, the free market doesn't do a very good job of like pricing in those free resources. ENS is a resource, a system that is now establishing a market value, which is somewhere between $4 and $8 billion right now. And just how like proof of stake and proof of work is the protection around blockchains, the value of the ENS token is the protection around the Ethereum name system. And so Ethereum is unlocking the free market to actually finally price a public utility. And so Ryan, to answer your question about why this is so valuable, it's because we don't know how valuable this thing is. We have never been able to price public goods like this. And so like, and then like the bullish side of that is like, oh my God, we don't know how to price these things. Like the last thing I learned that we didn't know how to price was Ether. And like the sky's the limit on that one. The bear case is that these are public goods. Like it's actually really hard to like monetize public goods. That's actually why they're called public goods. So maybe they're not worth that much. This is going to be a grand experiment about finally pricing in some public goods for the first time ever. And I think the price action is really going to be emblematic of how well Ethereum can finally price these things that have always been left out of the market and ultimately cause a lot of human suffering. But that's a topic for a different day.
Yeah, you had a lot to say about that, Dave. There's a lot there. I mean, one point that Brantley makes is this: you were not airdropped free money. You were airdropped responsibility. That's another way to look at it. I think the ultimate question of what you're saying is like the question of how to price a public good, whether right now $6 billion is overpriced or whether $6 billion is underpriced, is ultimately decided by individuals who own ENS tokens. All right. And so you tweeted this out. Raise your hand if you're holding your ENS drop. I choose to bear this responsibility. So the question to everyone who just received this, of which there are like 150,000 more, or about 150,000 or so ETH addresses that were eligible to receive this, is what you going to do? It's worth $6 billion. You probably made thousands of dollars on this. I know people who've made tens of thousands of dollars easily on this airdrop. So what are you going to do? You going to sell it? Or are you going to hold? And if you're going to hold, are you going to bear the responsibility of voting? But it's awfully tempting to sell at these prices, is it not? And so what are people doing? They're not selling. That's why the price is going up. A lot of people have decided that it's worth holding on to. This thing could be more valuable in the future. They want to participate in this network at any cost. And so they're not selling. But I've actually been pretty surprised at where supply and demand have kind of met with the valuation of this thing. And to your point, like, nobody knows how to price it, okay? But like, I feel like some things in crypto are definitely overpriced right now. Honestly, I don't know whether ENS is overpriced or underpriced. Like, it's a legitimate project. This is not smoke and mirrors. This could be insanely valuable. The team is fantastic. The distribution seems to be, and they distribute it to a whole bunch of ETH bulls who have done well on ETH, and so they're going to be some of the last people to sell. But like, is it worth $6 billion? I legitimately don't know. So let me ask you the question: did you sell or did you hold, David?
So my two ENS names that I have, trustlessstate.eth and davidhoffman.eth, those private keys are in Seattle. So I am holding.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I can't
so it's
actually
all
get
hypothetical.
them. Yeah, but I have actually bought some in addition to that as well. And so I've actually doubled what my airdrop is worth by buying some. And I think I'm going to be holding that for a good long while. And like, it's also really something that's really, if you're paying attention to the crypto Twitter sphere, something that's also emerged. There's a big like culture around ENS right now. And I think it's just this very emergent property of everyone being really, really excited about ENS. So like, these memes are coming out in the same vein that we saw memes about like Chainlink and all these other memes. There's a holding culture around ENS right now, which is like pretty damn cool. That we are going to have 2 moments of Zen at the end of this podcast.
They're so good,
and they are absolutely phenomenal. There are 2 songs about ENS and ENS DAO. They are actually catchy, and I hope you guys stay tuned to the very end so you guys can listen to that.
Oh yeah, how can you not? ENS stands for everyone not selling, I guess, right? That's the meme here.
Can I get you in on a little bit more hopium, Ryan?
Yeah. You gonna crank me up on more ENS?
More ENS hopium.
Okay,
yeah.
Convince me. So I have a claim to now, David. Part of me thinks that this is a bit overvalued, my friend. I love ENS as a project. It's fantastic. I'm incredibly bullish. But why should I hold at these prices?
How many funds do you think have were invested in ENS? VC funds, zero funds, zero hedge funds. It's all people.
No one's going to dump on me?
There's no one to dump on you. It's all people all the way down. There's the only people that got the ENS tokens were people that were using the ENS system or were part of the ENS team, which was like, building the ENS system. So yeah, there's no one to dump on you. Like
except my friends.
Except your friends.
Except my friends.
Except your friends, right? And so like, this
friends
is kind of
don't dump on each other, right?
We can pump this thing to the moon if we all agree to not sell. This is how this works.
I think it's a great project. And look, guys, this is just another reminder to you of the value of using these protocols. We've been saying this for the past like 2.5 years. Okay, use these protocols. We're not just saying you'll be rewarded as in you'll learn a new skill and there'll be some educational rewards and it'll enrich your life. No, you get free money.
Yeah.
Like, why are you not using these protocols? Okay. Like, when we say you're getting rewarded, you're literally getting airdropped money. Okay. Tokens, value, responsibility as well. But these things have value. So we published an airdrop guide about 2.5 weeks ago now. So it had 25 different opportunities. This was number 16, guys. So that went to Bankless Premium members. That's another reason you should subscribe. I feel like we're we're shilling the Bankless premium. But like, look, what's the ROI on that?
Yep.
You spend $22 a week and you get a few $1,000s a month. Yeah, sorry, a week. Yeah. It would still be worth it though.
Yeah, I did see a fantastic. There was, I think we put a meme on the weekly roll up a number of like a month or two ago about somebody's daughter wearing one of the cypherpunk t-shirts in middle school. Yeah. That person's daughter got the ENS drop.
No way.
A middle schooler got a $20,000 ENS drop. Changed her life.
About this. Yeah. Andrew Yang just got it.
Andrew Yang got it. Like,
we gotta go help
welcome, Andrew Yang. Yeah.
We got to go help Andrew Yang claim his airdrop. We should put it in his address and see how much he got, actually. But anyway, guys, airdrop season, really fun. I think this is the airdrop of the year. Yep. There's some great ones this year, DYDX, but nah, I don't know. This is really fun from a distribution perspective.
Hey, we hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, head over to Bankless HQ right now to develop your crypto investing skills and learn how to free yourself from banks and gain your financial independence. We recommend joining our daily newsletter, podcast, and community as a Bankless Premium subscriber to get the most out of your Bankless experience. You'll get access to our market analysis, our alpha leaks, and exclusive content, and even the Bankless token for airdrops, raffles, and unlocks. If you're interested in crypto, the Bankless community is where you want to be. Click the link in the description to become a Bankless Premium subscriber today. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for in-depth interviews with industry leaders, Ask Me Anythings, and weekly roll-ups where we summarize the week in crypto and other fantastic content. Thanks everyone for watching and being on the journey as we build out the Bankless Nation.